Hello, everybody, and welcome again to Weekly Inspiration. We're beginning the book of Shemot. Until now, we were in the book of Bereshit, the beginning, the Keter, the seed level, the light. That's the first book. Now we're getting into Shemot. Shemot is the second level. It's level of Chokhmah. And when we talk about Chokhmah, also need to mention that Shemot also is in the time of the Galut, the exile begin. And what is exile? I mean, when we talk about exile, so we need to understand that exile is not just that you are in a different physical place. Exile is when you come to conclusion that you are not as close as you want to be with the Creator. That's exile. When you get that understanding, then you feel in exile. It's a great blessing to feel that the exile that we are in, it's not a great blessing to stay there, but to have an awakening our soul that we're in exile and then looking for solution or to get out of it. And we know that many people pray when they pray, if they're already spiritual, they pray for the body to get better. Everybody pray, how can the body get better? How can the children get married? They will have more parashah. Everybody asks from Hashem for something. After all, we become spiritual a lot of time because of an agenda. And that agenda, it's not the way the Torah work. Not just according to Rav Ashlag, according to all Kabbalists, according to all Chachamim, sages, rabbis. They explain to us that the whole idea is to be closer to the Creator. The purpose is not how my life will get better because I'm teaching Torah, or I'm studying Torah, or I'm following the mitzvot, or I'm nice to other people, or I'm giving the tithing. It's becoming a famous mitzvah, tithing, because the Talmud writes, Aser shetitasher. Tithe, so you'll be rich. Wash your hand because it removes the poorness klipa. The idea is, it's not a problem to be rich. It's not a problem to be famous. It's not a problem to be whatever you want to be. But remember, it has to come from a place you want to be there so you can be closer to your maker. You be closer to the Creator. That's really the ultimate goal. So every time that I'm becoming better, I can serve better my Creator. And if I'm sick in that area, I gotta ask for help. That's galut. That's shovavim. That's the beginning of Shemot. That's going down to Egypt. Understanding I'm in Egypt. Hashem. If you have an issue with jealousy, that's what you should pray for. Because that's disturbing you to serve the Creator in a better way. If you have issue with the certain lust that you cannot let go, tachmod, cavity, anger, all other issue that you feel your soul is kind of in damage by your reaction, by your thought, by your talk, by whatever, ask for help. Of course, for the man of us, Shovavim, is very important to the mikveh, or those of you have snow around you. Mikveh, I mean, I'm live right now in Manhattan. There's not a lot of mikvaot. So wherever you live, wherever you are, and for the women, of course, in the right time to do the mikveh. Mikveh is it's something that gives birth to a new chance. Mikveh gives you a second chance. Every time you go into mikveh, you get a second chance. There's nothing more powerful. Baal Shem Tov writes about mikveh that a person can do more tikkunim by doing one mikveh than he tried to fix himself. That's what the Baal Shem Tov teaches. Mikveh is so powerful. Every time that you want to get into a mikveh or you want to get into it, understand this is the purification of your soul. It's not your body. Things that go into mikveh to wash the body. Chas shalom, God forbid. Take a shower before. So why are you going to a pool of water? Because that water, I mean, perfect mikveh will be rainwater. New York has rain, so it's easy. And well water. You mix them together, it's like Magen David. You're going in that water. So in this Shovavim, in this time, those of you who have mikvahs around you, try at least every 3 days to do a mikveh. Gotta do a mikveh. It's very powerful. Please, it's very powerful. So that's what Galut is. Before I'm going into the Zohar, which is a profound section. That's what Galut is. Galut, I'm in exile. The exile is that my soul cannot serve the Creator in the perfect way because I'm suffering from different issue. And I'm praying for that. I'm begging from the Creator to help me, to cure me from that problem that I have, or to help me to overcome it. So I will be able to get closer to the Creator the way I'm supposed to be. That's what Galut is. Now we're going to Shemot, and I'm reading from Zohar Sulam. Now the Zohar Sulam, those of you who have it in English, it's a difficult section. Those of you who have the commentary of the Sulam on Shemot, it's a difficult one, and I will do the best I can to explain it. It says, "Ve'ele Shemot Bnei Israel." It begins with the first verse. Those are the names of the people of Israel. But then he changed the name from Israel to Yaakov. First he called them Israel, and then he called them Yaakov. How can that be? That's really the question of the Zohar in this pasuk. So the Zohar, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the Zohar is going to a long section from Aleph to Vav. Not included, Aleph to A, 1 to 5. And the Zohar is basically, as you can read it after, from 1 to 5. It's going to levels by level by level, but it doesn't seem to be clear. So if you don't have the full understanding of Rav Ashlag or Talmud Sfirot, it's very difficult to understand, and it's important for us to understand it because we want to know what Galut is, and we want to know why the pasuk start with the name Israel and then end up with Yaakov. But those of you who don't know, Israel and Yaakov is the two names that Jacob got. Jacob at birth get the name Jacob, and later on he get the name Israel from God, after also the angel agreed to it before. So he has two names. And when the Bnei Israel, when the children of Israel are arriving to Egypt, they only call it the children of Israel because that was the last name he was named after. He was named Israel. So why they mentioning Et Yaakov Ishibeto Ba'u? Why mention the word Yaakov there if it's already Israel? That's the question of the Zohar. And of course, the explanation of the Zohar is long. And I'm going to do the best I can to make it short. The upper light is called Israel. The upper light called Israel. Okay? That's why it's called Li Rosh. If you take the letter and rearrange them, Li Rosh. Rosh means head. Yaakov, it is in the bottom. So we say, Ele Shemot Bnei Israel, those are the name of Israel, is talking about the upper part. Those of you who know that there is a light and vessel, so the upper will be the light. The lower will be the vessel. So we say, if it's the lower, it's a Nahi. That part is Galut. Nahi meaning the vessel. The vessel is in Galut. What is the message here? The light of the Creator, because of the Tzimtzum means contraction, because of that inability for the light to enter to the curtain that was created above the desire, above the vessel, for the sake that we can create our own light. Those of you not familiar, please go to my other lecture. That light that's supposed to shine to us cannot shine to us because we are in Malchut, we are in the vessel, we are in the body. So the Galut, the exile, the going down to Egypt is to fix my desire. So in the time of the Shovavim, I'm working on my Retzonot. I'm working on Yaakov. That's why it's the beginning of Israel. Meaning Israel, that's where the light will be, the upper. Yaakov, second. Yaakov is where you need to do the tikkun. On what? On the Retzonot. So this this week, start to check your retzonot. If they balance or not balance. Okay? Now let's go to another section. And I'm going to read from Divrei Chaim. I read it with my wife on Shabbat. And Divrei Chaim asked the same thing. Same thing. Yaakov ve'Israel. And he say like this. הדקדוק מבואר, שבתחילה קרא להם בני ישראל, אחר כך את יעקב. It's clear that he called them first Israel, then Yaakov. אבל אלה ממר, אלה שמות בני ישראל הבאים עמו. He should say, those are the names of the Israelite that came with him, which will mean everything. And the Zohar HaKadosh, he said the Zohar HaKadosh, what we just read, Shemot, עולם נראה לי ידעו לפרש, הנה ידעו שהגלות מצרים לתקן מה שקלקלו. We all know that we went to Egypt to fix what we did wrong. From the time of Adam till then. And for that reason, said to us Divrei Chaim, when we study the Torah in this time, it's exactly in the Shovavim, because we are giving the chance again to fix the area of the Retzonot, the area of those desires. Now here, Divrei Chaim going to something a little bit deeper, and I will do the best I can to go simple. So this lecture, this time, I'm sorry for some beginner. It's a little bit profound, but sometimes we gotta do it. Sometimes we gotta do that. Everything has roots in the upper world, בתורה הקדושה. לזה ביאור בספרים הקדושים. It's written in the Holy Book. When you say Holy Book, you talk about Etz HaChaim. Etz HaChaim is when we teach Talmud 10 ספירות, or תיקוני זוהר. שהקדוש ברוך הוא ברא עולמות ומחריבם. It's written that God was created universe and destroyed them. ואמרתי לו, עני לי, והנה קשה. וכי חלת שלו בשינוי רצון אצלו. It's hard to understand Kushya. Is that mean that God changed his mind? But לא הכל נגלה לפניו. He know everything. If God know everything, why did he need to create and then destroy? Those of you who don't know what we're talking about, it's called about שבירת הכלים. אך כתבו ספרים קדושים, כי זהו השורש של מעשה בני אדם. Tell us דברי חיים, and this is a huge revelation, those of you who study deep Kabbalah, huge revelation. דברי חיים said, כי זהו השורש של מעשה בני אדם. This is the roots of how people behave. לעבור להיות חרב. When they do עבירה, when they do something bad, they get destroyed. כי מישהו בא לעבירה, whoever has committed a crime, הוא חרב, is destroyed. like it say in מסכת ברכות, י"ח עמוד ב', רשעים בחיים קרויים מתים. Wicked people are considered dead. That's why Rav Brandon's son, Rabbi Avram, said, תחיית המתים, immortality or resurrection of the dead, meaning that you take one person who behave bad and you make them behave good. That's תחיית המתים. ואף על פי כן ברא הקדוש ברוך הוא תשובה שיוכלו לתקן. But God created תשובה so they can fix themselves. So what is Divrei Chaim is telling us? Divrei Chaim is telling us that God created תשובה. This is the two type of creation. First creation, it's called ברא את העולם במידת הדין. God created the universe in the judgment attribute. ראה שאין יכול להתקיים. God saw that nobody can exist in a condition like that. ברא את העולם במידת הרחמים. He created the world in the attribute of mercy. The question being asked, if God know everything, then he know they would not do it. So why even starting creating the first world to begin with? That's really the question. If there is any contribution to the first world. So tell us Divrei Chaim. I'm not answering the answer for that olamot, or maybe I should. And the answer first, yes, it's for the sake of evolution. Because after that system broke, it was creating a chance for us to build. So Divrei Chaim related into our life. This deep explanation of Kabbalah is in our life. So when a person commit a crime, he destroy everything. But for that reason, God created another world in the mercy world. And the mercy way, you can go ahead and fix everything. Through tshuva, to repentance, to change. והנה ידוע שעולם התיקון נקרא יעקב. We know that the way to fix everything that we go wrong, what we call אצילות, we call it this יעקב. משום שהולך ובוקע. Because what is יעקב? From the word בוקע. בוקע is making holes. It's like the letter A. He said that you take the letter A, there is a hole there. It's the only letter in Hebrew that the ink is separated. Shliol baba letshuva is to give a chance for people who want to change, to go up. It's like a hole that from there, the tikkun, from there you know what to fix. And when you do that, you will be ahead. You'll be ahead of your action. You will control yourself. You'll be strong. כמו אותיות ישראל. Then you will be ישראל, לי ראש. זה גם ידוע, קודם התיקון היה בדרך אדם שאינו רוצה להשפיע, וכאשר אנו רואים בבני אדם, אתם מתוקנים מכל חסד דאבדין גר מאהבדין. Before you fix yourself, how do you know you're not fixed? You don't want להשפיע. You don't want to give. You cheap. You think about yourself only. And even when you do good, you do what the Tikkunei Zohar said. What Tikkunei Zohar? They call chesed the avdin legar mo avdin. The good that you already do, you do for yourself. That's how you used to be before the tikkun. ואינם רוצים להשפיע לזולתו. They don't want to help. אבל דרך התיקון הוא להתחבר יחד לגמור חסד העמדה. The תיקון is to do good for one another. וידוע שזה מכונה מבחינת בית, ובחינת עת. שא' מתחבר עם עטף. מראשית כל עד תכליתן. So when it say et, okay, et, אלה שמות בני ישראל, et, he used with the et, meaning the totality of everything, every type of person. וזה ברמז הכתוב שישראל באו לתקן בירתן מצרים כמו כן למעלה, ושמות מצרים שמותם שהוא עיקר הנשמות, ותגיד מבחינת ראש, באו למצר, ראש מצרים ברמז למצר ים. So when it say that they came, where they came to, they were in the head, but they came to a place of מצר. To fix yourself, you have to go down. You have to fall. Things not going to work right. But you cannot make another human life miserable. If your husband or your wife are taking away your spirituality, then maybe you can get out of them. But you cannot make their life back miserable. Or if your wife didn't feed the baby right, or didn't hold the baby right, or don't look at you right, you don't have the right to raise your voice. We all in galut here. We all in exile. Your anger, your insecurity, your fear, your misunderstanding. Everything is in exile. When Divrei Chaim is telling us something so important, the creation of the world was first din, then rachamim. Meaning when you do the wrong thing, it broke, but there is a way back. There is a way back. I know some people who cannot even say the word I'm sorry to another human being. I'm sorry, practice. Mean it. Do tshuva. I'm sorry. When you speak to the Creator, when you do Hana, Chatanu Pashanu, what do you say? I'm sorry. The Creator didn't do a good job. You go to your friend, I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry I didn't call you. Mean it. With that, the A of tshuva open up and take you all the way. LeIsrael. You don't have to be Yaakov, Mitzrayim, meaning the lower part. That's why I mentioned Israel and Yaakov, said Divrei Chaim. One of the greatest secrets. Greatest. Now I'm taking you to Noam Elimelech. Also asking about Yaakov Israel. Now Elimelech take it to a different level. Say like this. ואלה שמות, והנה יש שני מדרגות צדיקים. What is the difference between Israel ויעקב? There is צדיק שאינו משגיח כלל על העולם. There is one type of righteous he doesn't know aware of even the world. Why? רק כל עבודתו כדי לזכך את הקדש נשמתו. He's busy making himself צדיק. לעלותה לשורשה. So can he elevate the soul wherever it belongs. למקום מחצבתה. To the place where it came from. ויש צדיק קדוש, there is another צדיק, וטהור, and pure, שהוא דואג ומצר תמיד על צרות ישראל. He's busy with the problem of the world. וכל מגמותיו ומחשבותיו לעולם כל טוב להשפיע. And already the thing is, how can I do good to them? So now we learn the two types. So, what is it? It said, צדיקים הללו, שאינם משגיחים אלא לעלותם לשורש. There is a righteous that only care about going to the top and becoming more pure, שמשם באו להם נשמתם ושמותם בני ישראל, הם מכונים בשם ישראל. That's what we call Israel. We call that Israel. So now you know Israel is the tzaddik that looking to become better. לבד, אבל הבאים מצרימה, but to come down to Egypt, דהיינו אותם הצדיקים, what is באים מצרימה? To come to Egypt, meaning the righteous that coming from מצר ודאגה, the word מצרים comes from the word מצר, worry, מצר meaning I have pain for you, I feel your pain, I feel your worry, תמיד על כללות ישראל, to care about everybody, that's what you call יעקב. Why Yaakov? Because they are lower. פירוש שהם גם כן במדרגת יעקב, they are going lower. איש וביתו באו. איש וביתו. A man and his house, meaning they gather with everybody, בא פירוש כל איש בישראל ביתו, דהיינו בני ביתו, באו כולם כאחד שווים לטובה לפניו להשגיח עליהם. Everybody is equal for that tzaddik, because he's one of them. He's not busy with the creator, how great he will be, but he's down with the people, because he wants to make sure everybody's making it. בדעתו מחשבתו על כולם להתפלל עליהם. He's thinking about everyone and praying for everyone. להשפיע להם ברכה ורחמים. That Hashem will give them blessing and mercy. וחיים וכל טוב. וקל להבין. And life and everything like that. My friend, I hope in my short lecture here, I explained some stuff about Galut in this week parashah. Think about your soul this time. Think about your soul. Beg the Creator, you can get anything you want when you ask for your soul. Anything. If you are too angry, your husband, ask for the Creator to help you with your soul, with your behavior. If you're too jealous, ask for the Creator to help you with that. You're too upset, you are not happy with your life, you don't have satisfaction. Ask for the Creator to help you remove that. If you feel you want to be more excited about spirituality, more in love, you will start loving people instead of judging them. Ask for the Creator to cure that part. That's what this exile time is about. Thank you and have a wonderful week. Hi everybody, welcome again to Weekly Inspiration. This is part 2 of the lecture I gave before. I had the feeling we need to add more part in the parashat Shemot, especially in the time of Exodus, the time of Galut. Time of the Shovavim, of course. I mean, it's quite important to add that part that I'm about to add to you. So we need to mention the concept of Moses. Moses is born in this week parasha, and he is the solution. He's basically the solution for us to lead us to connect and to have more emunah, to have more faith, to have more certainty in the Creator, in the light of the Creator. That's what Moses is all about. That's why the section in the Zohar of this week portion deal a lot with the Messiah, because the Messiah will lead us to a better life, to connect to the Creator. The ultimate goal is to connect to the Creator. That's the ultimate goal. So when you connect to a teacher, or if you're lucky to have a teacher who's in a higher level, then of course that taking you to a higher being, to more connection to the Creator. Your connection to the Creator, that's really what it's all about. So we read about Moses. I mean, I don't need to repeat the story. I think most of you know the story. He was born and he was adopted by Batya, the daughter of Pharaoh, and that's why he ended up in the time of growing up like a king, like a prince. So, sometimes a person has to grow rich, has to grow famous, has to grow with a lot of physicality for the sake of being able to have mercy enough to be merciful enough toward other people who don't have, because the Creator wanted the leader will enjoy all luxury of life. Because if the leader enjoyed all luxury of his life and not fall into the idea that it's just for me, which is galut, is exile, then that rich or leader or that experience all the luxury of life can actually give a feeling of somebody from the street that never wear a Rolex to wear a Rolex. Even it's physicality, even it's materialistic, but the feeling that he gets from it, that he can afford the Rolex, and the feeling that he gets from it, that he can wear the Rolex, that feeling is not a physicality, it's not materialistic, it's a feeling of pride. So when the rich person going through that and is capable to go ahead and do it for another human being, that experience, that change everything. That's really, Moses is going to a palace, he's going to the house of Pharaoh, he's going to become a king. And through being a king, he's now able to influence us with all the luxurious things. And also when he worship God in the best thing that he know, because he know more. It's just, the person who's a servant is a slave. I mean, can offer you a piece of bread, because that's all what they know. But when you are in a palace, you know that actually you can sit and you can have a private sushi chef, or I don't know, French chef. You understand those concepts. You know that there is something called private jet nowadays. So can you imagine that comfort, that experience through the physical body, through the five senses, that give a feeling which is more mentally or even spiritually, because mentally is what make your brain feel calm and you're more relaxed. But there is also spiritually, when you feel blessed. You feel blessed that you can go on a private jet. You feel blessed you can afford to wear a jewelry. You feel blessed that you can walk because you're going to a good doctor. That's Moses being in a palace of Pharaoh, to become as a king. That's a good start. But there is a section I want to share with you, and then we're going to go to the snare right away. So it says Moses is born, and we know he was born 6 months, opinion 7 months. I saw it in two places. In Midrash say 6, in the place of Chassidut say 7, and another book I saw 7. So I don't want to say my opinion, 6 or 7 months. That's the claim about how many months Yocheved was pregnant with him. And the idea, of course, in those days was a decree to throw all boys into the Nile. I mean, it's not just coincidence, just a boy, or you assume that because, they need the seed of the Israelite to continue from the boys. It's not exactly the reason. That's maybe the physical reason that you imagine. The reason is that because there is actually men need to be reincarnated. The men that were wasting the sperm in the time of the Mabul, in the time of the flood. And for that reason, those exact men was reincarnated to those baby, that basically it's the tikkun to remind them this is how it feels to waste a sperm. You're almost like killing your own child. That's why that specific mitzvah is one of the worst thing that a man actually can abuse. And for that reason, during the time of the Shovavim, in this time what's called Galut, we are talking also about the Galut of negative act that we did. And because of that, some of the spark went to the dark side. They are in Galut now. Our own spark, our own holiness is being held as an hostage in a different place called the Klipot. And our job is to bring that spark out of Egypt, out of the Klipot. So it's very important to understand how that's why I want to do this video as well, the correlation between the time of Shovavim to the time of the exile in Mitzrayim and to the time of giving birth of Moses, and understand that Moses basically live within every one of us, and our job is to reveal that Moses, because Moses is living potential within us, but it's not actual. We need to reveal that every day. Every time you do an act of goodness and an act of kindness, then you can tap into that level of Moses, because Moses learned all the luxurious things in life. Think about all the great things you experience ever in life. I mean, the flavor of thing, or the trip to a vacation to the place that you say it's the best, that you make sure that another human being in your life will experience in that, a human being who cannot afford it. Then you make sure that will happen. If you didn't, then why you expect Moses to get into your soul? Try to give what you experience. If you experience a certain challah roll, which is good, go buy it to somebody. Let them experience that. That's Moshe Rabbeinu. That's why he could be the leader. I mean, the Midrash said that he became the leader because he was taking care of the sheep and the goat and the shepherd. I don't know if you know that. When the sheep giving birth, he has to carry the baby and taking care of it. The mother will feel good. It's almost like taking care of the whole thing. That's what the Zohar write. And the Zohar explained that a leader can be known by how he lead everything. It's not just by how you lead, I don't know, yourself. This is how you lead your family, how you lead your friends, how you lead people. How do you lead people? And lead, it doesn't mean control them. Lead is meaning that the people around you getting into better places. That's a leader. The results speak for themselves. The people around that person just becoming better. Better. They think better, they talk better, they act better. That's Moshe Rabbeinu, Rabotai. That's our leader. That's the leader of spirituality. That's the sphere of Netzach, meaning eternity. That's why in every generation there is Moshe Rabbeinu. Every generation. We just have to find it. Have to find it. Lower yourself and find it. You can't find it when you are thinking you know. So there is, as I promised, there is two sections that I want to share with you. Is Moses basically eliminate a human being. I mean, I want to say kill. Vayachet HaMitzri. He killed an Egyptian. And right after that, second day, you see two Ivrim, two Hebrew slave. It doesn't say Jewish, it says Hebrew slave. Nitzim, meaning they're fighting. And he go to one of them. Remember, he's like the king of Egypt now, Moses. So he's go to two of them and say, why are you killing each other? What's the story with you? You're the same tribe. So one of them said, do you want to kill me like you killed the Egyptian yesterday? And Moses say, Achen noda adavar. Now I know that it's been known. You assume that the subject being now it's known. What's known? The idea that I killed somebody yesterday. Rabbi Yehuda Tzvi Brandwein, into his letter to the Rav, okay, he write that Achen noda adavar doesn't mean that. Achen noda adavar, the thing has been known, meaning that now it's known why the Israelite, the Hebrew slave, are actually slaves in Egypt, because they cannot get along with one another. My friend, I think it's a good time to bring to consideration the mitzvah of love the neighbor as thyself in the time of Shovavim. We have to start, if we don't love people, but respect a little bit. And we have to be quiet when we get criticized. And we have to speak, if something bothers us, we have to speak it clean, not with agenda and drama. To say, I'm in pain, something bothers me, I need your help. Humble yourself when you speak. Because Moshe Rabbeinu is revealed to us something in the name of Rav Brandwein. Achen noda hadavar. Now I know why they're in exile. Because they can't get along. If we will remove that, when we find out to get along, we cancel our opinion a little bit. Let go of our opinion. Somebody they insult us, it's feel uncomfortable. Why they insult you? Maybe they didn't. Maybe you feel insulted by them, but they're actually speaking about their pain. Do you listen to them? Be like Moshe Rabbeinu. Then you remove the whole idea that blocking us in this galut, this exile of Egypt, in this terrible time of galut that we sometimes don't even feel we are in galut, and bring us back together. When I say back together, the togetherness, the klal, there is prat v'klal. Klal, as I heard it earlier from Rabbi Michael Maor, klal is when everything, every aspect of something is in one flavor, is in one thing. That's klal, kolel. It's included. Klal means included. Prat means individual, is when there is one unique aspect there. So you can say spicy or sweet or bitter, or you can say smart or tall or fast. There's one specific thing. So Moshe Rabbeinu was able to get to the Klal Israel, to be able to he wants us to be one together. Why? Because each and every one of us build differently. But the beauty is when we live in Kedusha, we live in holiness, then what happened, it's become one thing. It's one entity with many flavor, with many things. The reason Bnei Israel, the Israelites are in Galut. Why is the Israelite in Galut, in exile? Because wherever you have spiritual Israelite going to a country, wherever you have that, they adopt some of the things that happen in that country. Israel is the land that has everything in it. That's why there is 4 weathers in Israel at the same time. You have snow in the mountain in the north, and in the south, people sit on the beach. And it's a very small country. It doesn't make any sense. Really small. Really small. So you have everything there. And within the Israelite, there is every aspect of where they went to exile. They pick up something from there and they brought it for the tikkun to make it klal, from the prat to make it klal. It's tremendous. Moshe Rabbeinu want to make that galut over, want to make that out of Egypt the end, the Torah and everything. And we could have done that. But we went to the prat. Everybody become prat. Everybody become private. Prat means private. I have my specialty. I'm tall. I'm special. I'm rich. I'm special. I'm smart. When we don't work together, and kedusha, there is no holiness. There is prat kol hazman. There is gava kol hazman. It's a problem, and that's galut. That's exile. The same thing with the shovavim. What is shovavim? Pratim, different pratim, nitzotzot, different spark are away from us. We have to bring it to the klal. This is the tikkun of the shovavim. I hope you hear me. Now I'm jumping to the sneh, and I'm reading from the Zohar about the sneh. So it says, when he came to the sneh, vayavo el har Elokim choreva. First it was him alone. He didn't bring his sheep or goat or anything. And he felt drawn to the mountainside. There's all like somebody being drawn to a magnet. That was Moshe and Har Sinai. When they saw each other, it was like best friend. Amar Rabbi Abba, Muchanim hayu mishesh tibem bereshit. Say Rabbi Abba, they were ready to meet each other from the time of creation. באותו יום מתרגש ההר למול משה. The mountain was excited to see Moses. And when he saw Moses, שנכנס לתוכו וקפץ עליו, עמד עליו ושקט מהתרגשותו. The mountain was moving like earthquake. But when Moses get into the mountain all itself not to get too excited that Moses is coming. Moses knew that it was the mountain of God. How do we know? Because it's written, Vayavor el har Elokim. He came to the mountain of God. What did he saw there that he knew it's the mountain of God? He saw birds flying around the mountain, but they cannot land on that mountain. And then when they flew, they fall into his feet, all the birds. So he knew that there is something going on there. That time was Mincha, which was the time of judgment. And he showed them that the bush is burning. The burning bush, the famous story. And what does he try to tell them? Say to us the Zohar. What does he try to tell them? He tells them it will be a lot of mistake that your people, the people you lead, will do. And it will be a lot of midat hadin, a lot of judgment attribute like the fire. And from here we learn that God announced to Moses in that moment of the snare, the mercy and the merciful side of the Creator. How merciful the Creator is. God said, I will not finish the wicked people. There always will be a chance. But please, you as a leader, make them not suffer for that chance. That's a leader need to do, a spiritual leader. Make sure you get the people closer to the Creator. And on top of it, make sure that the journey will be much easier than it is right now. Say, why God choose fire and bush? Say the Zohar. Why that's the start? No other person in the Torah God revealed in the fire. Amar Rabbi Yehuda say, En Moshe kesher nevim, Moses not like other prophet. Sheshaninu, mi shekarev le'esh nisraf bo, every person who gets close to fire get burned. Again, I'm translating in the Zohar in an easy way, but really, what is fire? Fire can be gvura. I mean, it's midat adin, the left column. And the left column, usually, most people don't worship God to the left column. People worship God to the right column. You come to God, right column meaning love, chesed, kindness. That's how you talk to God. But can you worship Hashem, worship God through the pain you're going through in your life right now? And be appreciative of that pain. I mean, we're not on that level. That's what he said, Moshe, from the fire. משה קרב אל האש ולא נשרף שם, משה ניגש אל הערפל אשר שם עליו. וירא מלאך השם בליבת האש בתוך רבי הבא אמר, בנו של משה יש להתבונן בחוכמה עילאית. מדוע נאמר כי מן המים ישיתו? כמי שבח מהמים, אינו ירא מאש. Say, Rabbi Abba say, well, his name is Moshe. And Moshe was named by the woman named Batya, Pharaoh's daughter, because the name of his mother gave him was Tuvia. And so she called him Moshe. And Moshe is mina mayim mishitiu. I pull him out from the water. So that's why she called him Moshe. So say Rabbi Abba, if you pull him from the water, then he has a water base in him. Then he shouldn't be afraid of fire. Because Rabbi Yehuda earlier said, wherever a person being chopped out from the upper world, nobody can be repeating that place again because it was chopped out. Amar Rav Yochanan, נתקן משה בעשר מדרגות. Moses, Rav Yochanan, was in 10 level. He was fixing himself. So Moses continued the Zohar and say, Zohar in Kaf Bet, דפוס ישן, Moshe היה מערער ואומר, while Moshe saw the burning bush, he was worried. שמא חס ושלום, יאכלו ישראל בעבודה קשה זו. I'm worried that the Israelite, my brother and my sister, will not make it through this slavery. וירא בסבלותם. He looked at his brother and sister pain. וירא אליו מלאך השם בליבת אש. וירא והנה הסנה בוער באש. כולם משובדים בעבודה קשה, אבל הסנה אינו נאכל. The snare, the burning bush was the answer to Moses. Moses was worried about Bnei Israel being slave, that tough condition. He didn't know if there is hope for his people. They're all slaves. They have no opinion. They don't have time to be spiritual. They don't have time to do nothing. They don't have time to understand what life is all about because they're only working. And it say that the snare was an answer for Moses to say, it's a burning bush, but it's not burned. Meaning now you see them working, now you see they will be in pain. But eventually, there will be no problem. The question is why this secret has been revealed to Moses. Say the Zohar, Vayar besivlotam. That's it. Vayar besivlotam. Do you know what Vayar besivlotam? He looked into their pain. He looked. He's searching. Where is my brother and sister as pain? He's looking for it. He's not in his office. Somebody come, hey, we have pain, we need some money. No, he's looking where he can give. He and she is looking, where can I add for the other person? That's what we're doing in Galut. We help each other. That's what we do with the Shovavim. We bring the pieces together. Ezrat Hashem, I hope that the piece that I had today make a difference. It was very important for me to add that part. And I hope it's important for you as well. Thank you so much.